In a split second, a casual evening dissolves, and suddenly you're locked in the exact same fight you've had 100 times before. Two people who genuinely love each other can transform into adversaries the moment a bond feels threatened. In this state, you become unrecognizable to yourselves and to each other. Attachment researchers call this specific behavioral trap the protest polka. It's a repetitive dance where one partner relentlessly pursues an answer while the other retreats into a defensive silence. If you've ever tried to use traditional therapy advice in the middle of this dance, you know why it fails. Logical tools like active listening cannot gain traction while the body is consumed by a survival-level panic. These arguments happen below the level of language. You are witnessing a pre-conscious biological collision where words have lost their authority against a massive nervous system flood. To understand the escalation, we have to look past the verbal argument and peer into the brain's threat detection architecture. When your brain perceives a threat to a critical attachment, the amygdala fires a 4-alarm survival alert. This happens milliseconds before the rational cortex can process the actual words being spoken. A stimulus enters, bypassing the thinking brain, directly striking the amygdala. These invisible triggers are raw spots, somatic memory traces from past relationships where you felt deserted. When lit up, the amygdala treats a current disagreement like an old wound. The nervous system does not timestamp these responses. When a raw spot is grazed, the body reacts with absolute panic, treating a present-day moment as if past trauma is recurring in real time. Let's examine the pursuing partner, whom we'll call the seeker. While they may appear aggressive, their internal reality is one of urgent, mounting panic. The seeker's nervous system has entered sympathetic mobilization. They are locked in a physiological fight response, hyper-focused on any signal their partner is pulling away. This escalation represents a desperate protest against perceived abandonment. From the seeker's perspective, they are hitting an alarm to see if anyone is still home. Elevating their volume and demanding attention are the only tools a mobilized nervous system has to force a connection when the bond feels broken. For the seeker's biology, forcing any response, even a negative one, provides more safety than silence. In the logic of attachment, a heated response confirms the partner is still present. Silence is coded as a total loss of the relationship. Now, look at the withdrawing partner, the bunker. As the seeker pushes, the bunker retreats, their face going blank as they physically curl inward. The bunker's nervous system has entered dorsal vagal shutdown. They have moved past the fight or flight stage and into a state of physiological freeze. This stillness is a collapse intended to survive an overwhelming sensory threat. The bunker isn't cold. Their body has simply gone offline to protect itself from further flooding. Their nervous system misinterprets the seeker's desperate reach as a dangerous, inescapable attack, which makes further withdrawal feel like the only way to survive. This feedback loop shows the tragedy of the dance. The seeker's jagged wave rises on the left, triggering the bunker's flat line on the right. This silence feeds the seeker's panic, spiking their wave higher, driving the bunker into deeper shutdown, an infinite, self-sustaining loop. Each person's survival strategy becomes the exact trigger that activates their partner's worst nervous system nightmare. To break this, the couple must view themselves as a single unit caught in a tangled web. They are trapped inside a machine they didn't build. Survival depends on shifting focus to the biological pattern itself. When you can name the dance as the common enemy, the partner ceases to be the threat. Stopping the spiral requires both partners to recognize they are caught in a shared, invisible process rather than a character flaw in each other. This shift changes the internal narrative from "you are attacking me" to "we are both caught in a panic." That shared awareness is the first step toward reclaiming safety. De-escalation starts by naming the loop out loud. It requires moving from the adversarial I and you into a collaborative us that looks at the pattern together. This involves dropping the secondary armor, the anger or the silence, to reveal the tender attachment fear underneath. Voicing a raw emotion like, "I am terrified of losing you," changes the data entering the partner's threat detection system. It introduces a signal of vulnerability, It allows the nervous system to begin the slow process of de-escalating and finding resonance again. You aren't fighting your partner. You are witnessing two nervous systems executing survival protocols they learned long ago, and once you see the dance, you can finally choose a different path toward safety.